Let's talk about the deep sea. It's the largest, least explored place on our entire planet. It's this whole other world of crushing pressure, total darkness, and life that is just bizarre and beautiful. For pretty much all of human history, it's been Earth's final frontier, and it's holding on to secrets we're only just now starting to figure out.
Okay, so let's just dive right into it. You've probably heard this before, right? This classic idea that we know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the bottom of our own oceans. It's a really powerful thought, and it kind of perfectly captures the mystery of it all.
And yeah, this quote, it just nails that popular belief. It paints this picture of a world that's so alien, so hard to get to, that we've literally looked past it and up to the stars instead. But, where did that idea even come from? And is it actually true anymore?
Well, turns out it's kind of a misconception. The saying actually goes way back to 1953, a time when, yeah, our ability to map the seafloor was, let's just say, not great. Today, we've actually mapped the entire ocean floor, just not in super high resolution yet. But here's the important part. We are finally exploring these depths, and what we're finding is both absolutely incredible and, frankly, deeply disturbing. So, what are these new explorations showing us? Well, unfortunately, it's not all weird, wonderful creatures. In fact, our first big discovery takes us down into the abyss, where we've found something that really doesn't belong there.
And that's the shocking truth of it. Just as our technology is finally letting us reach these places we thought were pristine and completely untouched, we're finding proof of ourselves. Our garbage has literally beaten us to the bottom of the world. Just think about the Mariana Trench for a second. We're talking nearly 11,000 meters down. That's almost 7 miles straight down into the Earth. It's the deepest place we know of. Researchers sent these landers all the way down there to grab samples of the unique life that somehow makes a living in this extreme environment. And inside a tiny little crustacean, an amphipod, it's no bigger than your thumb, they found something that has absolutely no business being there. It wasn't food, it wasn't sand or rock, it was something else. Now, check this out. When the scientists actually analyzed what was in the gut of these creatures, they found a crazy amount of synthetic stuff. And get this, 2/3 of it was blue fibers. You know, the kind of stuff that comes from our clothes and textiles. And this wasn't just some one-off thing. It was a huge problem. And this wasn't just happening in one place. I mean, from the Japan Trench all the way to the Peru-Chile Trench, across the deepest parts of the Pacific, it's the same story. They're finding this whole cocktail of man-made materials. Polyethylene from plastic bags, polyester and rayon from our clothes, even nylon. Our footprint is, quite literally, everywhere. Which makes you wonder, how does anything even manage to survive down there in the first place? To answer that, we've got to shift gears a little bit. We're going to move away from the pollution story for a second and into a story of just incredible biological genius. We're going to look at how life actually survives the crush. So to really get what life in the deep is like, you have to understand the environment. We're talking about the abyssal zone and, even deeper, the Hadal zone. The Hadal zone, yeah, it's named after Hades, the underworld, is anything below 6,000 meters. These are the absolute deepest trenches on the planet. Sunlight has never touched this place, and the conditions are just nothing like they are up here. The one thing that defines this world more than anything else is pressure. We're talking over 1,000 times greater than at the surface. Try to imagine the weight of 50 jumbo jets all stacked on top of you. That's the kind of force we're dealing with here. It's enough to make a submarine implode in an instant. So yeah, the question is pretty obvious, right? How can these fragile, living things exist under that kind of insane, crushing force? Well, the answer isn't about being tough or strong. It's all about some incredibly elegant engineering at the molecular level, perfected over millions of years. Okay, so let me introduce you to alpha-actin. This protein is one of the fundamental building blocks of life. It basically forms the internal skeleton of our muscle cells. It's what lets us move, what gives us structure. But just like any other structure, when you put a protein under too much pressure, it can bend, break, and just stop working. And this is where it gets really, really cool. The alpha-actin you'd find in a normal, shallow water fish is super sensitive to pressure. It gets squeezed, and it just can't do its job. But scientists found that the alpha-actin in deep-sea fish is totally different. It is pressure insensitive. It just keeps on working no matter how much force is on it. So how did it get this superpower? Well, it all comes down to a few tiny but incredibly strategic changes in its code. You can think of it like a molecular survival kit. Just three little tweaks reinforce the most critical parts of the protein. One helps it hold its shape, another one shields the part that binds to calcium, and a third one protects the part that binds to energy. It is just an unbelievably precise and elegant solution to a massive problem. So here we are. We have these two incredible stories unfolding in this same exact remote place. One story is about our own carelessness, and the other is about the breathtaking brilliance of nature. And that is the paradox, isn't it? Inside that one little amphipod from the bottom of the Mariana Trench, you find both stories. You find these little bits of our throwaway world, a tale of negligence. And at the exact same time, inside its very cells, you find this molecular masterpiece, a tale of evolution's genius.
Life in the abyss solved the problem of almost infinite pressure. It literally engineered itself to survive in one of the most hostile places you can imagine. So the real question we're left with is this. After spending millions of years perfecting a way to survive the weight of an entire ocean, is there any way it can possibly find a way to adapt to us?